right, we're rolling.
All
Everybody,
right.
welcome back to the Ali Iqbal podcast. I'm your host, Ali Iqbal. Today, we have a very special guest on the podcast today. Before we introduce the special guest, I've got to plug myself. My name is Ali Iqbal. I'm a realtor here on Long Island, and I want to make your buying or selling process as easy, convenient, and simple as possible. So if you need any help with buying or selling a home, you can contact me. My phone number is 631-604-8567. Be sure to shoot me a call or a text at whatever time of the day. Now, without further ado, let's introduce our guest for today. Today, I'm here with Raymond Rivera, another realtor here on Long Island. I've been following him for a very long time, and he's done tremendous work. He's phenomenal. He's awesome, and we've got him here today. How you doing, Raymond?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm doing all right. All right, let's just hop right into it. So the first question we have for today is, so for those of us that don't know you, how did you get into real estate? Where did you come from? When did you get into real estate? And just a little bit more background about yourself.
That's a great question. So, I was in college. I went to Suffolk County Community College, got my associate's degree. I was going to Queens College for a while
Yeah.
for something totally unrelated. And I just kept seeing just the amount of debt I was getting in, just in general. And I was like, man, like I'm just that kind of person where I am very, I wouldn't say frugal. I'm just very good with my money. And I'm like, in the long term, I want to play the long game. This is just going to be a pretty big amount of debt that I'm going to get in. And for like any job, the entry level, it's going to take a while to pay off. And I'm like, this isn't something I want to do. So actually talking with my dad, my dad is always promoted and entrepreneurship. So, after talking, everything that we do ends up in real estate. The building that I'm in right now, somebody owns it. Where you're at, somebody owns it. Everything we sell, somebody owns, somebody's going to buy. So at the end of the day, everything will end there. And I just saw the opportunity to get my license. I'm good with people. I enjoy working with people. So I wanted to take that opportunity to just kind of really take a leap of faith. And I went for it. I ended up ending college. I didn't want to do it anymore just because, again, the amount of debt. And I've always played with the idea of just going back just because I do like school. I was always pretty decent at it. But like I said, this was just something that always intrigued me. And the opportunity to control your own time and run your own business and then interact with people. I love working with people. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
That's awesome, man. It's good to
Yep.
hear. I definitely can relate to the debt sort of stuff. College can be a
Yeah.
lot of money, man. I
Yep.
understand. Getting into that much debt so early on can be very
Oh, yeah.
debilitating further
Oh,
on.
yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
So the next question I have for you is, what do you think for all of our real estate agents out there who may be licensed or are going to over to another brokerage or who may about to be getting their license, what do you think is the most important thing when choosing a potential brokerage?
That's a good question. So I didn't take my own advice that I'm about to give when I first started.
Yeah.
But the best thing that I could say is when you have your license or when you get your license, you want to look for an office that, and many realtors will say it, but either that you can join a team with or that you could get good training with. Training is everything in the beginning because there are a lot of offices that will hire you in a heartbeat and you will literally just sit in the office because to many offices, unfortunately, you're just a number. Even if you do one sale, it depends on how they structure it. You might be paying monthly, you might not. If you don't have a sale, for some of them, it's not a big deal. But ultimately, find an office that has good training, possibly a team, but has good training and also provides resources for you. And to me, culture and atmosphere is a big thing. You want to have some kind of camaraderie with the people around you, whether it's an age similarity, to motivation or energy. Like you want to be around people who are going to motivate you as well and they want to see you succeed, because some
Right.
offices you go to, it is like very like kind of cutthroat competition, like nobody wants to help you. But
Right.
there are other offices where they want to help you. So that's what I would say. I would definitely look for that when you're looking for an office and you just get your license. And also, as a new agent, you have to remember the ball's in your court. A lot of these real estate agencies want to make you feel it's not a regular job. They want to make you feel like they're providing everything, but you also are bringing so much to the table.
Right.
So like they want to interview you, but you have to ask questions like, what's the split? What resources do you have? How many agents do you have working? How many sales do you do a year? Some of this stuff you can find out on your own, but it's important that because there's so many offices on Long Island to choose from. You want to make sure that you're kind of aligning yourself and picking the right one.
Right. Absolutely. 100%. I definitely agree on that. Next question is, what are some of the things you wish you knew when you first got started? If you could go back and talk to yourself when you first started real estate, what are some of the things that you know now that you didn't know back then that you would go back and tell your prior self?
Yeah. Um, Even when I started, so I've had my license for about 8 years. I've been full time for a little over around six, full time.
Six
What I
years.
would have told myself is social media is key. Yeah, 6 years. I've been really like full time at it. It might have been like 6.5 now, but about six. I would have told myself that social media is key. I would have really built that up. I would have told myself that obviously, like now, but advertisement is of course key. So I would have actually poured more into even advertising, whether it's through social media or other forms. I would have did that more in the beginning as well.
Yeah.
And I would have taught myself to because like when you start, it's not. It takes a little while to get rolling. So I'm very hard to offend in general, but I would have told myself that you are going to get a lot of no's, before you get that first yes, or before you start really getting those tons of yeses, so to speak. So it is it's a sales industry, but we're also have to be so good with people, on a personal level, because you're dealing with someone's, for most people, it's their biggest investment, so I would have told myself just keep going, like keep hitting the grindstone, even harder than I did in the beginning. Now thank God I'm doing well, but in the beginning I just would have told myself just keep going, keep going, keep going, because in the beginning it is easy to get a little bit like sidetracked or maybe even a little discouraged with certain things because it's not going how you thought it would go, you
Right.
know. But yeah, that's what I would say. And then also like you don't first office is doing well. That's another not mistake I made because I did well in my first office. But if you find that your first office isn't doing well, you can go somewhere else, move somewhere
Right.
else that is going to catapult you to another level.
Right. No,
Yeah.
absolutely. 100%.
Yeah.
So one of the biggest parts of being a realtor is getting business. Of course, that's how you make your bread and your butter. So
Yeah.
for all of us realtors who are coming in, maybe newer or maybe even more experienced realtors,
Yep.
lead generation is key. It's a huge
Yep.
part of our business, a huge aspect of our business. So how do you think that realtors should go about generating leads? What do you do to generate leads, and what do you think are some of the most efficient ways to go about doing that?
Yeah. So I have never paid for Zillow personally. That's the big one everybody wants to talk about.
Yeah.
Zillow.
They-
Zillow, Zillow, Zillow.
Yeah, a lot of realtors out. That's a
And
tidbit for you guys
it,
paying for Zillow leads out there. I see all you realtors paying for Zillow leads.
yep. Yep. And some of the most successful teams, there are teams that we know, I'm not going to name drop, but they have been successful. It almost seems overnight, but within the last couple of years alone. And a lot of these teams, they just strictly pay for Zillow.
Right,
And that's what they do. And they have a team and they disperse leads, which I'm not knocking. I'm not knocking at all.
right,
My main thing, I'm not saying that I would never pay for Zillow. I just haven't yet. I don't think I will. But like I said, I never say never.
mhm,
Um, I have, it's such a mental issue for me because we're literally paying for our competitor. Like we are
right,
paying our competitor. Like everything, we see everything. Every industry is going to be just AI, and Zillow's buying homes, Zillow's selling homes. We're paying for leads for our own listings. Like
right.
it's crazy. It's nuts. But they have built such a business, it's the United States. They built such a business that they could do that, so it's in this atmosphere of business. They are capitalizing on every aspect of it.
Yeah,
So for me,
yeah.
oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, go ahead, go ahead.
Yeah, so I was just saying for me, what it's really been is, and it sounds old school, but when I had first got my license, and even now still, like I reach out to family, I reach out to friends on social media or even personally. Hey, just a reminder, I'm in real estate. The market's crazy right now. If you know anybody who's, tell them to contact me. And then social media is huge. So I really the last couple of years.
Raymond,
And I have been really just pouring in time. I'm sorry, go ahead. You're breaking
like,
up a
I'm
little.
sorry to interrupt. You're cutting out just a little bit. Could you just repeat that one more time?
Sure, no problem. So the last couple of years, I've been really like investing a lot of time into real estate.
Right.
Is at the point where I was cutting out. Okay. So with that, I have been like trying to post on my story more, trying to just more general post of activity that I'm doing. But it's really big because, the more that you show that you're active, the more people are starting to catch on. They see you, they see what you're doing, they see that you're in houses, they see that you're putting things under contract, they see that you're out with buyers. The more inclined people are to work with you because they know that you're working, they know that you're busy. So I've been trying to remember that because sometimes like it gets tiring. I'm not that type of person that likes to be on my phone
Yeah.
all day, every day, but that's what social media is,
Yeah.
that is what it is. But, and, as a young person, it's odd to say, but I'm just like how the iPhone, it tells you how many hours that you've been on the phone during the week. Yeah. So I was just saying, I know it's odd for someone young to say like I hate being on my phone, but you know how the iPhone tells you how many hours you've been on your phone, like
Right.
at the end of the week sometimes. And sometimes I look at it, I'm like, oh my, like it's like hours and hours and hours. But it that is what it takes now to be on social media and to just be present. That really is key. It's being present in the forefront of people because when they're on their social media, they're going to see you. You want to pop up in the beginning of their story. You want to pop up at the top of their feed. You
Yeah.
know.
100%. Social media is big now, especially for realtors. It's very important.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep. Yep.
So, um, I know that the real estate market has been very, very crazy nowadays, and that we have a lot of people who want to buy homes or who are looking to buy homes here on the island, or we're looking to get settled a little bit before, before Christmas or whatever it may be. And for those of us that are watching this and may be interested in purchasing a home, what are the most important things that someone should consider before they buy a home here on Long Island?
Okay. Um, it depends on where you're coming from. If you know a little bit about the area, some things might be less important than others. If you're coming from a different area, I would say um, know what kind of layout you want. Like if you plan on having kids, like know your future. So if you're planning on having kids, some people might not want a house that has 2 bedrooms on the first floor, 2 bedrooms on the second floor, because you're going to be on a different floor than your children, you know. And then I would say that the main thing I would say is look at, as realtors, we can't comment on particular area.
Yep, very important.
We can't, that this is a
Very
good
house,
school district, a bad school district. Right. We
very
can't.
important.
What was that?
No, very
Yeah,
important. Yeah,
yeah, and we can't. Yep, and we can't comment on, um, you know, demographics on the area or anything like that. For some people, it's a concern, like especially if they're coming from somewhere where they don't know particular areas. So what I always tell people is, because we can't say certain things, I tell them look up the school district online. There's different sites that rate school districts. If you're concerned about the area, if you're concerned about there's too many people in the area because you're coming from the city and you don't want to be around too many people, come around when kids might be getting dropped off at school. Now it's a little harder, you know. But like take a look at the area during rush hour. Stop at local stores, see if there's stores in the area that you like. And there have been times where people, and they don't know any better. It's usually not asked with any malice or anything. But you tell them like I can't comment on that. But
right.
here's some resources online that you can look up. The ratings of the schools. You know, and then like we all know, there's certain towns that people have a stigma about. And it is our job. They just did a huge sting operation
Yeah.
last year. And they caught a lot of people doing the wrong thing.
Right.
And it's terrible what some of these agents have done and said. You know, but unfortunately, but there are no laws that restrict the buyer from asking some crazy things. So I would say, as a new buyer, just have an idea of what you want. And if you're moving into a home for the first time, you might have to see different styles. But just be hyperactive, be responsive with your realtor. And then that's another thing is look and has the time to really invest into you. You know, everybody sees a lot of these agents who are so busy online and on social media, like many of us are, but a lot of these teams and people don't have enough time to deal with certain people, and you want to know, you want to work with an agent who knows how to divvy up their time appropriately and give a good amount of time to each customer or client.
Right, 100%. A lot of us agents here are very, very busy, and
Yeah.
they don't have enough time. So looking for a realtor who has enough time to and will give you enough time to your listing or to help you with your home purchase is very important. So
Right.
really
And
searching realtors. Yeah.
exactly. And another thing I would say is don't fight your realtor when they tell you to get pre-qualified.
Yeah.
You know, right now, especially even more than ever because of COVID and everything that's happening, we have to submit a COVID form signed, and they're also requiring pre-qualifications. I've always required that on my listings, but you see more agents now than ever requiring that. And that's because sellers don't want to waste their time. And as a buyer's agent, you know, I don't want to waste your time as a buyer, and I don't want to waste my time, because if you fall in love with a house, who
Right.
knows how long it's going to take you to get that paperwork to a lender, or who knows how long it's going to take you to pick a lender, you know?
Right.
So get that stuff done ahead of time. Get pre-qualified, get ready financially, make sure that you're all set, because when you're ready to pull the trigger on a house, you want to be ready. You know, you want to give your agent the best chance they can in fighting on your behalf to win a house. So
Right, 100%. I definitely agree.
yeah.
Especially for us home buyers that, or for the home buyers who are watching this, don't feel offended if your realtor asks you if you were pre-qualified or not. In fact, you probably should want to get pre-qualified because it will give you buying power in the transaction, and sellers will take you much more seriously if you're a buyer who is pre-qualified. So, and some of the worst things that I've seen, especially with home buyers, is that they come to a home, the realtor gives them the tour, they take a look at it, they love the home, they're ready to buy it, and then they find out that they're not qualified to purchase for the loan.
Yep.
So that's just, and then it's a very unfortunate situation for everybody. And to avoid those situations, that's why we want to get pre-qualified before we start the home
Yep.
purchasing process. So that's so
Absolutely.
important. Yeah. Uh, and it's, speaking of purchasing homes, the market here on Long Island has been crazy, right?
Yeah.
So it's been crazy over the past several months,
Yep.
and there's a little bit of a debate going on. Is the market going to continue to be crazy as it has been? And really doesn't show any indication of stopping, in my opinion. Is the
Yeah.
market going to continue to be crazy, or are we looking towards a big crash in 2021? What are your opinions on that?
So I have talked to people that are a lot smarter than me on this,
Yeah,
and you're probably one of them. Um, this this market has been absolutely insane, specifically for sellers. The sellers market, sellers are getting ridiculous numbers for their house, ridiculous. Some houses going minimum $20,000 over. I've heard of houses. I was actually talking with a pretty well-known attorney. He's like, there have been houses coming across my desk, 50 to 70,000 over asking, several of them, and they're paying the difference. So meaning, like, let's say the house is $500,000 and a buyer offered 570, but it only appraises at the 500. Some of these buyers are paying a $70,000 overvalued difference on top of their down payment, on top of their closing costs. It's insane. It's insane. We haven't seen a market like this in years. I know I haven't in the entire time I've had my license. Um, so my opinion as far as when it's going to crash, I don't think we're going to crash anytime soon. I don't think we're going to crash in 2021. I think even though we got shut down through coronavirus for like 3, 4, 5 months, where realtors couldn't show houses, like we couldn't show houses. You know, I know it was at least 3 months that we couldn't show at all, and then it was like extreme restrictions for a while. But the market came back like even more fierce than it was before, because there were so many people fleeing from out west to come out here, and which is an interesting transition because the commercial real estate market is just changing overnight, because a lot of these big businesses are realizing we don't need, you know, 3 or 4 floors in a high rise out in Long Island City or Manhattan or Brooklyn. You know, we don't need that. These our employees can work from home, so the employees are saying, great, why would I pay $3,000-$4,000 for a 1-bedroom apartment out in the city when I can have a house out on Long Island for 2,500 mortgage payment, 3,000, 3,500, whatever it is, with a yard, 4 bedrooms, you know, I think this is going to continue to push the market to the edge. From people that I've talked to, like I said, that are a lot smarter than me, some of them think it's going to last for the next couple of years.
Yeah.
Some of them think that it's only going to last a year. I think I'm more on the fence where I think it's going to last, or more on the side of the fence. I think it's going to last a couple of years. I think it's going to slowly slow down.
Yeah.
But I think now that it's after the election, people are still a little nervous, but it's all going to depend again on where our economy is, how comfortable people are with spending the extra money that they have.
Right.
But I think it's going to last for the next couple of years. That's my personal opinion.
Yeah, no, I definitely agree with you. I think we still got a little bit of time left before
Yeah,
we have to worry about any of that. And that's another interesting point that you brought up about people bidding so much for homes and people
yeah,
paying sometimes 30, 40, as you said, 50, $70,000 over asking price. So when we as realtors are speaking to our buyers or speaking to you guys, the buyers, and we tell you to put in a competitive offer and to think really competitively, we're not just saying that because we're bad people and we want to make you lose money. We're saying that because you
right,
have to be mindful. You have to be
right,
mindful about that we are in a crazy market. There are people who are willing to bid much higher than you. And one of the most unfortunate situations is when you have a buyer and they're trying to sort of throw a lowball offer in there,
yeah,
and their offer ends up getting rejected, or their offer ends up getting, or they end up getting outbid by another buyer, and then they lose the home, and then everybody's upset because the buyer's upset because they lost the home, and you have to speak to your realtor about that and try and put in as competitive of an offer as you can if you are serious about getting that home, if you are
right,
serious about procuring that property.
right.
So
And
it's
I
very
always
important. Yeah.
exactly, and you hit it right on the head because I always tell buyers, this is how the market is.
Yeah.
I said, I'm not trying to spend your money. I said, this is your money. But I said, you have to understand, we are going to, almost every house is going to a bidding war. We are literally fighting to get this house. So let's talk about right now, before we even submit a first offer, how high are we willing to go? How competitive are we willing to get to try and get this home? Because that is what it's going to take. And I've had buyers, I have one couple that has lost, I think it's 7 or 8 bidding wars
Oh
right
man.
now. Yeah. And, these are people that I personally know. And it's hard because you tell them and they are only pre-qualified to a certain amount, but we try to work with it. We try to make the deal work and make it look good for the seller and try to incentivize in some kind of way, make it competitive for them. So we are offering quite a bit over, but sometimes it's still not enough. It's still not enough because we're looking and really, really right now, and it's so super competitive.
100%. 100%. So to keep that in mind, potential buyers who may be watching this.
Yeah,
Let's see. So when we are speaking with potential clients, we are speaking with people who may be interested in purchasing or selling a home. This is might be very informational for some of the realtors out there who aren't sure on how to approach a potential client on buying or selling a home, or how to speak to clients, or really know what clients want in a realtor. What do you think are some of the things that clients look for in a realtor, and how do you think that realtor should go about speaking to potential clients?
yeah. So it's a really interesting relationship. Business is all about relationship.
Right.
So what I like to do is I actually like to sit down and I like to meet at a Starbucks. It's gotten harder and harder to do that. But I like to sit down. I like to meet at a Starbucks. I like to meet somewhere, even a diner if you want, or somewhere. And I like to sit and build a little bit of a relationship because it's important to make sure that the buyer's comfortable with you, but you want to also make sure that you have or can have a good relationship with the buyer. There are some buyers that agents, you know, um, will have a difficult time reaching or even just getting them to understand certain things. And in the future, like I've known agents that have literally fired customers that have literally said, look, I'm not the agent for you. This isn't going to work out. But from the beginning, what I always try to do that hasn't happened with me because I like to lay everything out in front and I let them know I am your realtor. You could reach me anytime. That's one of the things that separates many of us younger realtors from other realtors. You can literally, if I don't text you, it's probably because I'm sleeping. But other than that, you could pretty much text me any other time. It's if you text me at 12 at night and I don't answer, it's probably because I'm sleeping. But you can again reach out to me. I will always try to get back to you. But what I do first, I sit down, I have a meeting, I ask them what are your expectations? see this process going? What are your desires? What do you want to try to get out of this? What style home do you like? You try to build that rapport with them. And then in a buyer's perspective, you can ask similar questions. Like you can ask them, like, are you going to be able to devote enough time to us? Are you, how many years, even like how experienced are you? Some people like to ask that, but now us younger people are at such an advantage of many of the older people who are in the business, and not knocking anybody, but everything is at our fingertips, so it's not just about the amount of years in the game. It really is about consistency. It's about motivation. It's about discipline. Like how much time are you going to devote to that customer, make them feel comfortable, give them the knowledge. I know even when I was starting, and even now, I tell them, if there's ever a question that I might not have the answer to right then and there, I will get you the answer. Give me to the end of the evening, give me to the next day, but I will give you an answer. Buyers want to know that you are on the ball. You are representing them, that you are there for them whenever they need, because our job doesn't end when you just find the house.
Right.
It continues all the way to closing, so in a buyer's shoes, I would just make sure that you have a good rapport, that you can see yourself getting a loan, that you could actually see yourself also enjoying looking at houses with, and you want to make sure that that person, I wouldn't say has a good business model, but has a good mind, a good personality that would fit yours and your goals and your expectations when you're looking for a house.
100%. 100%. I definitely agree with that. It's so important to many of us buyers or sellers or anybody who's looking to work with an agent to really work with somebody who knows what they're doing, who's invested, who's interested, who's willing to answer your questions, who's willing to get into contact with you. I know a lot of issues with buyers and sellers is with their agents, or why they may fire a particular agent, or why they weren't happy with working with a particular agent, is because there was no communication. There was a lack of communication. There wasn't updates on how the listing was doing. There wasn't information on offers or how the property was being marketed or any of that. And because of that lack of communication, that's why a lot of deals end up falling apart and things don't work out. So really working with a realtor has open communication, who knows what they're doing, who's willing to work hard on your behalf, and that they're working hard on your behalf, is very, very important.
Yep.
Yeah, 100%.
Communication is so key in every aspect of life, like every single one. I think communication is the most paramount thing. You hit it right on the head. Yep.
Yeah, and that's what makes great agents. Like Raymond said, where we're always available to answer our phones. Unless we're sleeping, and even when we're sleeping, sometimes we turn over and we can reply to a text. We can reply. So as a realtor, your phone is like a time bomb, I guess you could say, because it's always going off. You cannot leave your phone for more than 15 minutes without it. You're getting 4 missed calls, 15 texts about, whatever it may be. So, realtors are constantly like glued to your phone. Like I know I'm glued to my phone, and I know it must be similar. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh yeah. It's insane.
Yeah. 100%. So one of the most important things as realtors, we're very, very busy. We've got a lot of things to do. We've got a lot of things on our plate. So time management is of the essence. So I really wanted to ask you, how do you manage your time? How do you make sure that you're getting everything done that needs to be done?
Okay. So this is something that I actually learned from, Ryan Serhant.
I do know Ryan Serhant.
Yeah. So
everyone knows Ryan Serhant.
Yeah. So this is one of the things that I knew from when I started, because I've always been a disciplined person since like high school. I was always involved in sports or like extracurricular activities. So I've always had to have my time management down, so what I would always do, and then like listening to Ryan Serhant and certain things, and he would always talk about, which I implemented even harder. Even though I was doing it, I implemented even harder. Do the hardest thing of your day, or the hardest things of your day first. Get it out of the way. That phone call that you are regretting, making to a seller, telling them that a deal is falling apart, or, that phone call that you're regretting making to a buyer to let them know that they didn't get the accepted offer, or whatever the hardest thing of your day. And it could even be working out. Working out could be part of the hardest thing of your day. Get that done first. Get those things out of the way, because the rest of the day is so easy after that. Following up with customers, reaching out to people, going on social media to just say, hey guys, I'm a realtor, reach out if you need anything. Just knock out the first part of your day for the hardest part of your day first, rather. And what I try to do, I everything on my phone. Everything that I have scheduled, I put in my phone. So that way you don't miss a phone call. You don't miss an appointment. You don't miss a conversation with somebody. You don't miss an email that you have to respond to. Like I try to put every single thing into my phone. Hey, I want to do this at 11 a.m. I want to do this at 11:30. I have a meeting at 1:30. And because we're constantly on our phones, you can constantly have that in front of you and remind yourself of what you're doing to keep yourself organized. And when you do that and you show buyers that, like they ask you, hey, I want to go look at houses Wednesday evening. Great. I have a time block for you from 4 to 7, or 5 to 7. Let's go look at some houses. People appreciate that organization as well. So I utilize my phone calendar and I just get the hardest things of my day done first, or the hardest things of my week done first. That's what I try to do.
That's an interesting strategy. I've never, I've heard that. I think Ryan Serhant is popular for that.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure, but that's very interesting spin on it. So there you have it. To all
Yeah.
your realtors who are having trouble managing time.
Yep.
Uh,
Yeah.
all right, Raymond. So what do you think makes you so successful? Obviously, you've done tremendous things in the space for the many years, for the 6 years that you've been working. You've done so many tremendous things. You've helped so many people in the process of buying or selling their home. Uh, so tell us a little bit about that. How did you become so successful? How did you grow your team? How did you really grow as a realtor and get into the position that you are now?
It's been, for some people, it was a lot quicker. It took me a little while. But I would say it's really discipline and consistency. Those are the two things that have always pushed me through and have brought me to where I am. I'm not the most successful agent, but I do very well. And I would say that, being a part of Remax is great, is great. It comes down to any agent. It doesn't matter the motivation that you have within, and then also the people that you surround yourself with. Are you surrounding yourself with like-minded people who are like, there's another agent in my office, we have like a healthy competition, so like we'll just text each other. Like if we get a deal done or we get a new listing, like I say, hey bro, like catch up, like what are you doing, like we keep each other on each other's toes. So it would be healthy competition, but it's more so of the consistency and the discipline. How disciplined are you with getting the things done that you need to be? How disciplined are you with constantly touching those touches? Like, let's say you have a buyer who's not ready to buy yet. Do you reach out to them every week and just ask them how they're doing to keep you in their mind? How often do you reach out to sellers that, even if it's under contract? I do it at least once a week. I reach out to sellers. Hey, I just want to let you know everything's moving along smoothly. Nothing has changed just yet, but I just want to touch base. Is there anything you guys need? How are you guys doing? I that also a little bit of personal relationship with them to let them know I'm not just your realtor, but I'm there for you. If you have any questions at all throughout the process, reach out to me. I have sellers who ask me several questions, even multiple times, and for some agents, like, oh my gosh, I told you this for the third time. I invite it, because I want to keep that open line of communication. I want them to know I'm here for you. If you need me to clarify anything, I'm here. So I would say it's discipline, it's motivation, it's consistency, and then also like enjoy what you do. Build that relationship with your buyers and sellers. Have a good time doing it. Enjoy it and make it kind of fun in that sense. So that's what I've been trying to do, and it's been working, because when you have that nice, like I said earlier, that camaraderie with sellers and buyers, it makes them that much more comfortable. Where it's like oftentimes we could get seen as just like a used car salesman. You know what I mean? This guy's just trying to spend money. He's just trying to make a buck, but no, I'm here for you. Like, I want to help you buy one of the most expensive purchases that you're ever going to make in your life. And I want to help you sell, one of the most expensive things that you own, or maybe I want to help you sell your investment property or your second home, or, whatever it is. I want to be there and guide you through the process. And I want, buyers and sellers to know that I'm going to be there, the whole time. So
100%, 100%. I agree with that. And it's very important for people to know. I know a lot of people think, I know that I mean, real estate agents are some of the most distrusted people
Yep.
in the entire
That's so true.
country.
Yeah.
And you know, we're not all like that. It's a lot of us genuinely want to help. We want to
Yep.
help make your process of buying or selling a home. It's one of the biggest investments of your life. It's one of
Yeah.
the most important investments that you'll ever make. You're purchasing probably the largest asset that you will ever have. And
Yeah.
so we want to make that process easy and convenient and simple. And especially for new home buyers, we know it can be very nerve wracking to be a new home buyer. We want to make that process easy and simple for you, and we genuinely want to help you. So, you know, we're not all sharks. We're not all terrible people. So a lot of us genuinely want to help and be there for
Yeah.
you. So it's very, very, very important to just keep that in mind, that we are here to help.
Exactly.
All
Exactly.
right. Raymond, you've done so many great things already. What do you think's next for you, man? You've accomplished so many things. You've done so many great things. What do you think is next? You got any new goals, ambitions? Are you gonna move into something else, or are you gonna continue doing this? Or are you looking to just improve? What do you think
Yep.
is next for you?
Good question. So I just got my broker's license. So I am now, yeah, thank you. I am now an associate broker at my office, Remax Sparrow Realty. Um, my goal has always been to potentially own my own office at some point. Um, with everything going on in the world, COVID and what have you, things are getting pushed back.
Mhm.
What I am have been continuing to do is to start investing. So I should be closing on my first home, my first investment home. Honestly, this week, hopefully, that's the goal. But with everything going on, it's been getting a little pushed back. Thank you. But I want to start investing. I'm actually looking to build a rental portfolio because when this market flips, I don't know how many houses I could get by then. This is just going to be my first one, and it's taking a little while. It's actually with two business partners that I have. We want to build a portfolio that will bring in consistent income and start to get into the investment atmosphere. Like that's always been my goal. Like I said, everything ends in real estate. Everything ends in real estate, whether it's renting, whether it's office space, whether it's storage space, anything, offices, whatever. It all ends in real estate, and that's where I want to go. So I'm going to continue to be an associate broker. Who knows if I will have the opportunity to own my own office or just expand my team where I am now, and build a bigger and better team where I am now. So we'll see what happens. We'll see what happens. Either way, I'm excited for the future. I know that it's looking up and it's looking positive, and I'm excited for whatever happens. So.
100%, 100%. I definitely, looking forward to seeing Raymond the investor, as well as Raymond the real estate agent. And I wish you much continued success and on your journey. And yeah, I think I pretty much wrapped it up for today.
Awesome.
Thank you folks for watching. Of course, be sure to, if you have, again, I'm going to plug myself. If you have any needs with buying or selling a home, or if you're looking to rent out a space, I want to help you. My name is Ali. I'm a real estate agent here on Long Island. I want to make your home buying or purchasing or selling process as easy, convenient, and simple as possible. Be sure to shoot me a call, shoot me a text at my phone number, 631-604-8567. Raymond, where can the people find you?
They can find me on Instagram, on Facebook. It's at Raymond James Realtor, and you could see what I'm doing. If anybody has any questions, feel free to reach out. Give me a follow. Give me a couple likes, and I would love to see you guys on there.
100%. I'll have all of his information as well as mine linked down in the description. That pretty much wraps it up. Thank you guys for watching today.
All right.